Good freaking morning. How are
Morning.
y'all
What
doing?
up? I'm
Well,
tired.
I sound really husky this morning.
You sound sexy.
Ooh, is that like
You
Phoebe,
just
Phoebe's cold voice when she's trying to
Oh.
sing Smelly Cat?
Mhm.
you just getting off your
No.
night job?
Yeah. Yeah. No, so, I worked in the restaurant industry for a very long time. And we've talked about
Mm.
this before. We've talked about tipping and, you know, what to do or what not to do, but we've discussed it in person or on chats, but we've never discussed it on the podcast. So I thought today would be a great day, or we thought today would be a great day to discuss tipping. And it annoys me.
It
Tipping
annoys me. I have
absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
so many thoughts about this that it infuriates me.
yes. So
I
Andrea,
agree.
I
Well,
think you need to tell us about what happened.
my story. So, as you may know or may not know, you need to go back and listen to our side hustle to listen to about all the things I do on the side. So one of my side hustles is rideshare driving. So um yesterday I was out in the boot doing some rideshare driving, and it it dawned on me about 9 times out of 10 I'll have a passenger, and they'll be like, all right, yeah, thanks for the ride, I'll hit you up on the app, meaning like I don't expect people to have cash, like that's just how things are these days.
Hmm.
um and it's like, oh cool, they're gonna tip me. um and hours and hours and hours go by, and I don't do that many rides, so kind of I like know who, I remember kind of who's who and which ride it was and whatnot. And so hours and hours can go by and no tip, and it's like, oh, okay, well, fucking liar. So I just, it's just kind of like rubs me the wrong way, like where don't don't say you're gonna tip and then not tip.
Hmm.
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 And I get it, you forget or whatever. And sometimes I get tips like weeks later because that's the next time that person opens their Uber app or whatnot. And it pops
Hmm.
up, prompting you to tip your driver. But actually yesterday the woman did say she was gonna hit me up, and she actually did. It wasn't like it was like several hours later. But she did actually give me quite a generous tip for the ride that I gave. But like that's like that 1%,
Right.
people who actually follow through on that. Or, they say, "Oh, can you stop at the store? I'll hit you up, whatever." And a lot of times people will offer to buy me like a soda or whatever, and I'm like, I'm good because I usually have my, cup of water and whatnot, and I'm good to go. Because if I drink anymore, I have to stop to go use the bathroom, and that's just not not ideal. Um, but then they're like, "Oh yeah, don't no, don't worry. We'll tip. I tip generously, blah blah blah." And then it's, nothing or $1. And you're like, "Get the fuck out of here." But like when I'm making $3 to drive your ass down, 5-10 miles, and you're gonna like lie to me about tipping me, like just don't even bother. Like just
Hmm.
just get out of my fucking car. Say thank you and leave. Like that's all you need to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
When
I had some. Go ahead.
you did you deliver food also though.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so that's one of the things I wanted to ask you about, because there's like this I forget what it's called, but it's like, basically people order their food, you
Mm-hmm.
go pick it up to deliver it for them. There's no tip on the app, right? And then you get to the door and they don't leave you a tip either. So, and
So
a lot of people, there's like this culture right now that if you don't tip, like especially like for the Uber drivers, the
mhm.
Uber Eats or whatever, like they will legit leave your food at the restaurant, which I'm in total support of. Now,
Or they just
sometimes
don't even pick it, or they don't even like accept the ride. So like, yeah, so if you put a tip when you place an order on the food, that amount will show through on my end when I like receive the trip notification. So in all honesty, like full transparency, um, any Uber Eats ride right now, if you don't tip, it literally pays, I think the minimum is like $2.
Mm,
So like I get $2 to drive from wherever the hell I am to go to the restaurant, to sit there and wait for the most part because the food's never ready, and
mhm,
then to drive it all the way to your door and follow whatever ridiculous instructions you leave on your thing. And if you live in
right.
a 6-story freaking walk up, then guess what? And you say leave it at your front door, then I'm pissed and hiking up 6 flights
Mhm,
of stairs.
right.
Um, so and that's like ridiculous. So they don't even take into account like there's Uber Eats and then there's the Uber like driving. And so they have different calculations for how they figure how much they pay you.
Mm,
But because the Eats, they primarily focus on people tipping you, they pay you like garbage.
mm,
But I
So
think
like
a lot of
literally it's
people
like
don't tip.
$2. No.
yeah.
So most of the time people do. One time I did have a person, and basically the way I do my Uber Eats is that I have a set goal, and like that set goal will pay me a certain amount. So that's what I'm usually doing. And it's usually based off of a number of rides that or number of deliveries I do. So usually that's what I'm doing. So even if the thing says it's a $3.50 ride, I'll still usually take it. And like one time I actually had the person put a note in, but I can't see their personal notes until I get to the point where I'm actually physically have their food and delivering it.
Mhm,
That they were like, I tip in cash. And I was like, okay, well, we'll see, you know. And then when I got there, there was like a $10 bill like stuck in the door. And I was like, oh, that's it, you know. And I was like, well, that's cool.
yeah.
But like if I had that order and I was, one of those people who was like, oh, fuck it, because they didn't tip, like you can clearly see they
Yeah.
didn't tip. Um,
You
like
would have
because
missed out. Yeah.
you would have missed out because you can't see those notes until after you've already picked up the food.
Yeah. I
Mhm,
just think that it's really rude for people not to tip. I mean, you're
yeah,
not leaving your house. And
right.
with the price of gas,
Mm.
it's just like we always tip very generously if we do any
Mhm,
kind of like Uber Eats or
And
DoorDash or
and
anything like that,
if it's
just
so
because we're not going
expensive,
anywhere. And if it's
yeah,
too expensive,
you
then
shouldn't
we're
be
like,
ordering.
right, then we don't. And we're like, do we really feel like getting this? And if so, then we're gonna have to go get it. And so it kind of like slims down what we want.
Hmm.
Um, but I just find that so infuriating. And then there's
Yeah.
other times whenever the people want you to tip, and I'm like, what the fuck? You didn't do anything. Like this whole tipping before I get
Hmm.
my food,
Hmm.
I don't know what kind of service you're gonna give me. You could
Hmm.
spit in my food, and like if it's one of those like deli shops or whatever where you're going up front, like I don't like you go up front, you pay, you make your order, and then when you're paying, they want like a tip. Well, I
Hmm.
haven't even gotten my food yet. I don't know
Yeah.
what kind of
mm,
service it's going to
mhm,
be. I don't know if the food's going to be good. Like, how am I supposed to tip you?
Yeah.
The whole thought behind the tip was that you were tipping for a service based on how well they did.
How well the service is.
Yeah,
right.
and so Kevin and I kind of like look at this a little bit different. He's always like, he doesn't agree that every place should tip, but he's always like, but if I tip good up front, then maybe I'll have better
Then
service.
you better
And
be.
I'm like,
Mm,
but what if you don't? Like whoever's
Yeah.
bringing out your food may not be the person that you tipped, and so they don't know.
Hmm.
right,
And so for
right.
me, I'm always like, no, I want to tip at the end. Like we went to a restaurant down here in Lake Wiley, and we had a nice meal. She brought out the handheld thing.
Mm.
He put in his card. She's like, okay, the next part is your tip, and then if you can just sign it. That sucker defaulted to 35%. 30
What?
Whoa.
35?
35% tip. And
Wow.
you could tell she was like butthurt that we changed it to 25. We always do 25%. You have to like really give us sucky service.
Dude,
Mhm.
35? I don't think I've ever seen
35%.
35 on
And
a.
it only
Me
went down to
either.
20. There was no
Mm,
custom. You could only do 20, 25, or
or
maybe it was 25, 25, 30, 35, and no
Wow.
custom.
Oh
what?
gosh. That's crazy.
You know what? I don't like that because like they're standing over you and it's like
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
I don't
really don't
care.
like that.
25% is a great tip.
Yeah, it
Hmm.
is. Yeah, it is. I mean, there were days
Because what
where I
happened to the days where it was 18% was the
Yeah.
standard, and now,
well
you know what I mean?
there were days, there were shifts, I mean, there were times where I would only get 10%, or sometimes people would take up hours and hours and hours and sit, and they wouldn't give me anything.
Hmm.
And at Olive Garden, where I worked at for the longest time, I mean, you're running your butt off because of unlimited soup, salad, and breadsticks, and plus you have 3 tables and all of this other stuff. Plus, I also worked in the bar, and I did to goes, and I did other things like that were tip, and people don't tip on to goes.
Mm.
Oh, it was a good thing that I made extra money, because people don't tip on to goes, but I always do, because I know that the person because I know of what's going on behind the
Somebody's
scenes.
Hmm.
packaging up your food. Like they're doing a
Somebody's
service.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're doing it because they have a specific to go person that's what they do,
Hmm.
and so I always make sure
Or
that I
they're
tip
or they're
on the
splitting
to goes.
tips.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and you have to give some to the bartender, or you have to give some to this one, the bus boy, and this and that and the other. So it's not like that person is getting all of that tip anyway,
Hmm.
Yeah.
So I just have a different place in my heart for food service, just because I worked in it for so long, and I feel bad whenever I don't. Like, I made a mistake the other day, and I didn't give this gal enough money on the app, and I felt bad. I was like, what kind of tip was that? I mean, it was probably 18%, but it was just, I just felt bad because, like you, Jen, I mean, I don't usually do anything less than 20%,
Mm-mm.
you
But I
know.
will say, like, I do think we're in this culture where tipping has
Peop-
got a little out of hand. Like you have the Uber Eats and all
Mm.
of that people don't tip, which I think is wrong. But then you
Mhm.
also have like your local Starbucks that's tipping. And I'm sorry, I look at Starbucks as like I know it's a higher end coffee shop, but it's a
But
fast
they're
food
but
place.
they're also getting
Yeah.
paid like $20 an hour.
Correct. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I
a
don't tip
fast
at
food place.
Starbucks.
If I go to Wendy's, I'm not tipping you.
Mm-mm.
If I'm
Yeah.
going to like
Well,
Starbucks, I'm
first of
not
all,
tipping you.
my food at Wendy's is 9 times out of 10 wrong anyways. So,
Right. Right.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the only fast food place my food is ever right, all right, Whataburger,
Whataburger.
and Chick-fil-A. Like literally. Um, no, that's so yeah, so yesterday morning I got myself a matcha and a donut. Mind you, I paid like fucking $15 because that's the it wasn't Starbucks, but it was might as well have been. And then the thing pops up, do you want a tip? And it's like, bitch, I'm the only one in here. You ain't doing anything. And this is the one thing you have to do right now is make a coffee that I ordered
But it's
off
like
the
a fast
list.
food place, right?
Yes, yes, yep.
So it's just like, I don't know. That's just, it's so everybody wants tipped for everything now. And it's just like, maybe I'm wrong in feeling like that, but it's just
Mm-mm.
like, if I can equate you to being like a McDonald's or something like that, even if you're on the higher end, I'm not tipping your ass.
No, because you're
You're
making more than
literally
213 an hour.
correct.
Because
Yeah.
You're
servers
literally
at
taking the
restaurants make
thing.
213 an hour.
You're
Or
literally
if
pulling the thing off the shelf and pouring the milk in the cup, and that's it.
like
Like,
Yeah.
McAllister's,
mm,
I
I
go up
don't
to the
tip there.
counter, I'm ordering my food. You're not coming to my table. I
right.
order my food. You get me my drink there. I'm carrying my drink to the table.
Hmm.
Oftentimes,
Mm-hmm.
I don't get a refill because, man, those glasses are
They're
huge.
huge.
You're just bringing out my food. It's not like you come back over and see if I need anything. Nine
Right.
chances out of 10, they don't. If I
Mm-hmm.
do want a refill, I have to go get it.
Hmm.
So
Right.
why am I going to leave you a tip at the beginning of my service?
Hmm.
Right. Yeah. No, I get that.
When all those people are making whatever the regular minimum wages or more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get it. And it's hard, and it's hard to explain to people that have never been in food service, like, you know, this is like this is probably one or two of their jobs.
Hmm.
Most restaurant people don't, they work multiple jobs, and so, like, even my brother, he worked in food service, but like he doesn't tip on to goes, because we've had this conversation about Olive Garden to goes before. and he doesn't tip. He's like, I'm not tipping on it to go. And I'm like, it just it aggravates me.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
it's
we
just
tip
hard
on
to
that
get that
because it
across.
is somebody that's packaging up your food, and so we
Yes.
kind of look at that as just you know, we get Olive Garden, we get Mexican. It's if we were to go there, we would tip, so we should
Yeah.
tip. It's a restaurant,
Mhm.
so we're gonna
Yeah.
tip.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but there's clearly other places where I'm just like, get out of here.
No. Yeah. No, I totally agree. Now, I will say they have little at the dispensary, they have little tip jars in front of each of the cashiers.
Oh, do you
For
tip your
what?
do you tip your
Yeah,
dispensarist?
give throw them a dollar, you
I'm just
know.
gonna like wear
Now
red
here's
Solo cup on my chest and just put tips,
Yeah.
just because, and see if I can get any tips.
now Mel, do you tip because you ask them questions about certain products, or
No.
do you go in there and you know exactly what you want and you say, give me
I
that
go in
crazy
there,
looking one?
I know exactly what I want, so I order it and then they get it for me. Like they are in the back doing their thing, getting it, and then I guess putting it in the bag or whatnot. So I'm not like, calculating 10, 20, I mean
Well,
25% or anything.
maybe
I
you're
just
tipping the guy who's putting the good stuff in the bag and not giving you the.
yeah. Yeah. I just throw in a buck, I'm like just because they're nice and so I just throw in a dollar. I've seen like $5 bills and stuff in there and I'm like, nah, I ain't doing that.
That's
I'll
because
give
they
them
took one out of the register and put it in there. Come on now, the oldest trick in the book.
a dollar. But yeah, so I mean that's another place that there's tipping. Just thought that I would bring that to light too.
Do you guys tip your mailman like at the holiday season?
And that's another topic because I've never been one to tip my hairdresser on like give her no, I tip her. I
Oh,
tip her.
I was
But
like, oh
like
my God.
on the holidays and stuff, like I've never given like a big extra gift or anything like that. So when you said the mailman, that just made me think of my hairdresser. But no, I tip them on the regular whenever they do my hair.
Yeah.
But no, on the holidays and stuff, I never remember to give them anything extra,
I saw
and I feel bad.
this past holiday season, we go to a local pub here and it's like an Irish pub, and we love one of the servers there. We've became like not friends, but we like if he's there, we're always asking to sit in his section. And whenever he's not there, it's
Mm-hmm.
like, do we really want to eat here kind of thing. So like at Christmas time, like I gave him like a $100 bill,
Oh,
just
nice.
as like, hey, it's the holiday season, enjoy kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But then I saw, which I thought was a really cool idea that I think I'm going to do this year, is like for the Amazon, like we get tons of packages around the holiday
Yeah.
season. Like I saw
Mm-hmm.
people would have like buckets of
Mm.
like a tray of like waters outside, or some
Oh
like
my
Yes.
God, that
snack bag
okay.
of chips, things like that. Like to me, I thought
Yes.
that's a really nice
Yes.
idea.
Well, here's the thing is that because you don't always have the same Amazon person,
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
so you can't know. But let me tell you that like as an Amazon person myself at the holidays, finding one of those little buckets of just delicious treats was like jackpot because then like
Yeah.
like if my husband was with me I'd be like, dude, honey, like they got snacks, like do you want an Oreo, do you want a freaking bag of chip, like they had like little like
Yep. Like little
just
snack
the little
serving
snacks, the
things.
little
Yeah.
snacks and like little bottles of water. I mean, water is number one thing, like
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I always bring a water with me, but for whatever reason in the wintertime it's just really dry here. And
Mm.
then like, just I like plow through my water. So it's like having one of those along the route is like
Mm-hmm.
amazing.
Yeah.
But I would like to do something like that. I just forget. Like it's been so hot here. I mean, if you put any snacks with chocolate in there, they're all
Oh.
melted. But
Oh yeah, you can't do
the
it
water,
now, but like in the
no.
winter time, I just thought I
Oh,
would
it's
like
usually, yeah,
that's
usually when your people are getting a lot of people are ordering a lot of stuff. And
yeah.
so they just put it out for their delivery person or their mailman or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's very nice.
Yeah. We're gonna do that this year. I like that idea.
Yeah, that's a really good
I don't
idea.
order that much shit, but and our mailman sucks because
Oh,
some days we get mail and some days we don't. So
Our
there's times
mailman
when
does.
we'll get like couple packages, like they'll do Oh, words are hard. They will deliver a couple times on the same day here because like I'll
Oh.
order stuff and then Kevin orders stuff. Like we don't order stuff like
Oh,
together.
you don't do your delivery
We don't.
day?
Mm-mm. So we just like order. Like if I'm running low on like eyeliner or something, I'll just order it
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
and
But
I'll
that's
order
the
like a couple
that's
packs of it or whatever. But
that's one thing that's awesome being close to an Amazon hub is that you can get it same day.
yeah,
For
a lot of
us
my
up
stuff I
here,
can get
we
on the
can't do
same
that.
day because there's one up in Concord.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so I think that, people need to be considerate of others because they're doing a
Mm-hmm.
job for you. And, just think about people that are, they're probably having a struggling time, I mean, because when you make $2 an hour, you have to hustle. You
I agree
really
with you,
have to
Mel, but
hustle.
I agree. I think that I think it's a good, I think people need to understand that they need to tip probably a little better than what they do whenever it's
Hmm.
warranted. But I'm
Right.
sorry, I'm not tipping in every single situation. And so I would
Mm-mm.
really love, if you're listening to this and you feel strongly about it, we'll throw up a post on Instagram. Let us know,
Mm-hmm.
what, like,
Share your
who do you
thoughts.
tip? Who do you definitely not tip? Like all of that
Mm-hmm.
kind of stuff. We're really eager to
Mm-hmm.
know. And so drop that in the
Or
comments.
if you feel completely differently, please feel
Yeah.
free to let us know.
Yeah. Let's have a
A
friendly,
spirited debate.
yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, this was nice. It was good to talk about and just kind of get it out there because I think it was just time to talk about it.
Yeah.
Agreed.
All right. Well, I hope you
Well,
ladies enjoy the rest of your day.
you
You
too, and
too.
thanks for listening. Like and subscribe and do all that stuff you got to do.
Catch you on the flippity flip.
All right. Love you.
Uh-huh.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.